Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Come to Sam Ash for hundreds of exclusive holiday deals on music and sound gear from the most iconic brands. Save big on professional and starter guitars, drums, digital pianos, horns, violins, DJ, and electronic production equipment. Supercharge your home studio with deals on podcasting, streaming, and AV equipment like speakers, microphones, headphones, and acoustic treatment. Plus, with 36 months no-interest financing on thousands of items, you can get the gear of your dreams right now. From our incredible selection and service to our lowest price guarantee for over 95 years, real musicians know you only go to Sam Ash.
BetUS.com. If you guys are betting on the games, whether it's NFL, NCAA, of course, you're not going to do that now. Maybe basketball, not football, but of course, the NHL, NBA, go to BetUS.com. You get a 125% sign-up bonus. And also, if you use this code right here, the promo code of TSW22, which, by the way, stands for the sports web, TSW22, or call that number 1-800-69-BET-US. Again, 1-800-69-BET-US, and put in that promo code TSW22, and I would really appreciate that.
I've had 27 beers spilled on me. Make that 28.
I've only got one place to go before the game.
BetUS.com.
Sign up at BetUS.com and get the best bonuses in the industry.
Say Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa.
Tampa.
Bay.
Tampa.
Bay.
A.
Tampa. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa.
Tampa.
Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
When you make it out this far, one thing is for certain. There ain't nothing like that boat ride. And we're in the deep water now.
What about the rematch now with all the chips on the line for Tampa?
One of the things they had on their side last year was luck.
And if the walls start to close in, that's when it becomes compelling.
They really need to also play well on defense.
Everybody remember this unit. This defense is the reason the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl.
You can say what you want about us. We know who we are.
Grave digger.
Out here, the tide can change just like that.
With 4 Buccaneers all over.
One slip up, and you just might sink.
Hey, let's go, man. We need to play right here. And Hurts is sacked. Every time you see me, you got to throw it. And blitz, and it's White. He better not throw it. End zone. Picked off. Look out. Real great niggas. Oh, my goodness. Rakeem Nunez-Roches. Hey, let's ride, Woo! Let's go, man. That's how you be aggressive with them over there, man. It's football, man. I'm going to roll the ball on their ass. And it's intercepted. Jason Pierre-Paul. I'm talking about our beer bike. Pressure from Barry. Ball is loose. His defense comes up with a sack. Let's go!
When you see that boat coming, it's already too late.
What a boat. Throw. Y'all ready?
Because we're bringing the whole crew. And today, we grow.
Hey, boy, ain't nothing like that boat ride.
Raise the flags.
Stand by.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition, your post-game edition as the phones are going off the hook. Ed, call back in about 2 minutes. We'll start off the show here. Thank you very much. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose 30-27 here live on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And guys, I'm just like you. I am probably as heartbroken as you are, but I mean, it was fun while it lasted, right? Unfortunately, we came in with the video of the boat. The boat has sailed on this team, unfortunately. Once again, the Bucs lose to the Rams 30-27, and it came back to haunt them today. It really did. You can't start off 20-3. Curtis, hold on a minute. Stand by. I know there's a lot of people who want to call, so we will get your phone calls, but let's put things in perspective, right? Shall we? This team won a Super Bowl last year. I know it doesn't feel good right now. I get that. Let me be honest. I've been watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since I was 8 years old. We've been through these losses, right? We've been through them together. It seems like it. The Rams had our number. The Rams continue to have our number. Being down 27-3, you have no business being in that game. We talked about the challenges coming into it. Tristan Wirfs being out, inactive before the game was tough. We knew that there was going to be a challenge. I'm saying we. Don't kill me. Because I'm like you. I'm a fan. I'm a sports broadcaster, but I'm a fan like you. We knew the challenge today for this pass rush was going to be there. We knew that Aaron Donald and Von Miller, and it got overwhelming. And somehow, some way, this team comes back. Amazing. Down 27-3, they come back. But you know what? It's not enough. Because today, unfortunately, the Rams were better. And not just in the last 44 seconds of the game. They were better for the majority of it. So I want to hear from you. It's a tough loss, but we'll get through it together. Because as my father said, as I'm sitting here right now in his apartment, being the biggest sports fan of all time, showing me the way of watching the Bucs ever since I was 8 years old, it's just a game, son. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Tough. You come all the way back. Leonard Fournette scores a touchdown from 9 yards out. And you think your defense has got it under control. But they don't. I don't know what happened on the defense, but busted coverages all over the place in the worst times. Worst. Cooper Kupp for 20 yards. Cooper Kupp for 44 yards. I'll tell you what, let's start it out. Let's go out to Curtis. Curtis, let me get your walk-up music on. Here we go. Yeah! All right, Curtis, welcome to the Evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the LA Rams. The Rams advance to the NFC Championship game versus the San Francisco 49ers, 30-27. Your thoughts?
First of all, I want to say to you, Peter, that I respect the hell out of you and everything you said. You're 100% right. Now, let me say this.
Yes.
We went into the season with big expectations.
Correct.
And you know what? We had a great season.
Yep.
Did we shoot ourselves in the foot in the first half?
Yes.
Yes. But
yes.
some of those egregious calls didn't help either.
No, they didn't. And I'll tell you right now, Sean Hockley and that crew should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves.
Now, let me say this. Levante David's penalty, I was very upset with him when he took off his helmet
Right.
and slammed it down.
Right.
But I want to tell everybody something about that guy. That guy was on this team when we were the bottom of the barrel. And when you have been at the bottom of the barrel and then you finally get to the top of the mountain, winning means that much to you.
Yep. And in Cooper Kupp, once again, the story of the game, nearly 200 yards of receiving. And you can't have communication breakdowns. And
Brady, the Brady personal foul was probably the worst call I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt.
The Ndamukong Suh call was probably the worst. And then Stafford kicked him.
Yep.
What the?
Yep.
Holy.
Yep.
Listen, I'm sitting at home before I went to work, and I'm losing my mind. I'm like, is anybody else watching this game? Now, don't get me wrong. Gronk dropped some passes early.
Sure.
Evans dropped some passes early.
Sure.
Johnson dropped some passes early. Brady dropped some passes. We weren't playing our best football.
No, I mean, you can't get down to the Rams 20-3 at halftime. And you're Curtis, you're very fortunate not to be down more points because Antoine Winfield causes that fumble at the goal line there. It looks like the Rams will at least get 3 points out of it. And they don't. And look, credit to the Bucs defense because, again, they had their breakdowns today. But you cause 4 turnovers. The Rams are basically trying to lose that game. But you're exactly right. The calls that were made on the field today, very, very questionable. And you know how I feel about this and how a lot of football fans feel about this. If calls determine the game, then we all lost. Because that's not what it should come down to. It should not come down to flags at the end of the day. And for me, the Mike Evans one on 4th and 14, clearly it's a helmet-to-helmet shot, but I don't know how the ref determines, you know what? That's not interference at that point because to me, you could have definitely looked at it. But again, you still tie the game up when you're down 27-3. Your defense has to have a stop. And let's give credit to where credit is due. Matt Stafford was great today. He was phenomenal.
I want to tell all my Bucs fans out there that's listening to Peter today, I've been at work since 5 o'clock. Okay? I didn't care what was going on at work today.
Yeah.
I have been on my phone watching this game.
Yep.
For the life of me. And I'm going to tell you something. I kept telling myself, this team is going to scrape and claw and scratch their way back to the finish line. And you know what? As a Buccaneers fan, I'm proud of how we lost this game. This is one of those losses that I can be proud about. Does it hurt because we're not continuing to move on? Yes, but we showed heart and we played our ass off, even though we were getting our asses handed to us at the first half.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Between us shooting ourselves in the foot and the referees, if we would have won that game, it would have probably been the greatest win in Buccaneer history.
Absolutely. And I mean, you go back to Tom Brady's comeback over Atlanta there in the Super Bowl. What was it? Super Bowl, I'm thinking it was 50 or 51 against the Atlanta Falcons, 28-3. I mean, look, you feel like you have a good opportunity to go into overtime. But again, McVay had other thoughts. And I don't know what the coverage breakdowns at that point, but Cooper Kupp gets behind the defense. It looks like it's man-to-man, blown coverage. Antoine Winfield is, beat on that for 44 yards, and that's basically it. Matt Gay kicks the 30-yard field goal, and, a lot of people will go, go ahead.
I will say this because I got to get in here.
Sure.
We're closing up early because we've actually been dead.
Sure.
But I will say this. Chris Collinsworth said something at the very beginning of the game that I want all the Bucs fans to remember. This is the first time since week 1. We weren't even that defense wasn't even complete week 1 because I'm pretty sure Jordan Whitehead missed the first game.
Yep.
This defense has not been fully healthy and completely together.
Right.
The Super Bowl last year.
Exactly.
That's over a year.
Sure. And I think they've been ineffective in areas. I think they got to do a better job, and I think they're going to be retooling, but there are a lot of questions that remain with this team. A lot of talk about Tom Brady retiring. I don't think he's going to retire, but I just have no idea at this juncture. Curtis, get to work, my friend. We'll see you throughout the week.
I got this last thing I want to say.
All right.
Brady's going to come back. We got to re-sign Godwin. We gotta try to keep Kappa.
Yeah.
And we have to resign Fournette. I love Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones has gone off of this
for-
team. Ronald Jones is so disappointing this year, you know, and I created this nickname and all this. He's been very, very disappointing. I think he's gone.
Peter, no. You're actually completely beating yourself up. He is a good running back. The problem is when he was losing those fumbles at the beginning of the year,
Sure.
he got into his own head.
Right.
And he's a normal person. This is what I keep telling people about these football players. These guys are human beings. We all have done it. We have all gotten inside of our own heads and have self-doubt in ourselves. And it's hard to do anything when you self-doubt yourself.
Sure.
I love you guys.
Love you too,
Peter,
brother.
I love you, bro.
Yep.
Getting to work. If you guys are still on, when I come back, when I get off, I'm calling back. I love you guys. Go Bucs forever.
Go Bucs.
And from this day on,
yes,
I hate the Rams more than I hate the Saints.
I think we all agree with that. I'll give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
I'll fire the cannons for you. We'll give you the woo.
Woo!
Thanks a lot for the call, Curtis. Appreciate you. All right. All right. Open phone lines. And again, I know it's heartbreaking. I get it. I understand it. I'm with you on it. I'm with you. Because you spend so much time and so much energy to come back after you're down 27-3 and you think the defense can put a stop to it, and they can't do it. And they didn't do it. And it's disappointing. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm here for the meltdown. No meltdown. No meltdown. Because again, it's not a meltdown situation. Was it disappointing they get down 20-3 at halftime? Yes. They're not playing well. Brady's not playing well. Only 112 yards of passing. And then, of course, when you get down to 20-3, you get out of your game plan. You become one-dimensional. All right, let's go out to, I believe, Mr. Alex. Alex, welcome to the edition here, the Sports Web edition, post-game edition as your Bucs fall to the LA Rams 30-27. What do you have to say, my friend?
Hey, Peter, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Again, go ahead.
I just want to start off how I do every time we kind of fall short. But let me start off by saying, what a season! It's been a great ride.
It has been a great season. Yes,
it always has. It always will. I gotta say, I'm disappointed on how we play the ball, especially on offense. But I want to start off by saying, what a blow by Todd Bowles. What are you doing a slot blitz? Why are you not playing a three-man deep, knowing that Cooper Kupp is going to go wide, we're going to blow the coverage? Why would you do a slot blitz on that play?
I don't know. Again, in the situation of that, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I'll say this. Look, if you play back, then you give up, 20 yards on the first play? I mean... Yeah,
but you only have
right.
fairly little time left.
I get it.
No
I get it.
time.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but either way, that's my thought about the bad things. But I gotta say, I still say is what a great season. Like I was saying, man, it's been fun. Yeah. I've been to like 6 games this year. It's been a great ride. I guess I have a couple questions going into the offseason. I know we're still trying to mourn. But well,
I don't think there's anybody mourning. I think there's heartbreak here, right? There's disappointment. There's disappointment. But then again,
right. You've got to be extremely happy with all things considered. I mean, we had half our defense. We still won the division. Half the defense was out over half the season.
Sure.
How many injuries do we have this year, and still to be this far and come this far again?
Sure.
And 2 games away from the Super Bowl. You can't ask for anything better.
No, you can't. You're missing Chris Godwin. You're missing Antonio Brown. You talked about the challenges in this game. We talked about Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller had a good game. He stepped up. Mike Evans doing Mike Evans things. Although, people were saying, Jalen Ramsey. Mike Evans beat him in that matchup today. That was not even close to being a good matchup.
Hey, but Pete, I do want to say this, but you always tend to say this a lot, and I'm going to go with what you say. Hats off to where credit is due.
Yeah.
The LA Rams played a kick-ass game.
They did.
Plain and simple.
They did.
They came out with the game plan. They executed, and they did what they needed to do. And hats off. And that's coming from a Bucs fan. I'm a diehard fan, bro.
Sure.
I love my Bucs, but they deserved it, man.
Yep.
But I guess I'm gonna I want to end with this, and I hate ending it like this. I have a serious question. The only thing I care about right now, does Tom Brady return for 2023?
I think he does.
2022?
I mean, I think he does. I still think he's playing at a high level at this point. I don't know if anybody knows, but I believe he's still under contract at this point, so you would assume that he does.
There's been a lot of speculation about before this game that
this could be the last time, and if this is the last time, Bucs, I mean, didn't you enjoy the ride? I think we all enjoyed the ride at this point.
Pete, I think I told you last year, bro.
Sure.
Enjoy the ride, man.
Yep, enjoy the ride.
While we have it, we won a Super Bowl this year. We still had accomplishment. We won the division.
Yep.
Why not be proud about that?
Right.
Yeah,
and you did it.
We don't get to go back to back, but we
agree. It's tough to go back to back. I mean, it's tough to do that. And good stuff as always. Let me go ahead and fire the cannons for you, my friend. We'll go ahead and give you the Byron Leftwich, and we'll also give you the woo. Alex, appreciate the call. Don't be a stranger here on the Evolution. All right, my friend?
All right, big dog. I'll see you, man.
All right, appreciate you. I mean, look, I get it. I get it. I started off the show with saying, I'm you. I'm like you. I am. I understand it because I'm sitting there watching the game, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. But we always talk about it, right? You have an opportunity with Tom Brady at the controls to win the game. And he gave the Bucs every opportunity in that second half, especially the fourth quarter, to win. Defense kind of let down at the end of the day. 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Tammy says heartbreaking, absolutely. And Tammy Freed right there been saying fire Leftwich, horrible play caller. I mean, you've been on this. I'm not going to even acknowledge it at this point. I don't understand where you're coming from. I'm so heartbroken. I agree. I think we're all heartbroken at this point. But again, you have to put things in perspective, right? The reality of the situation is the Bucs didn't play very well the majority of the game. They didn't. I mean, that second half, they turned things around. Defense causes 4 turnovers, 4 fumbles. Crazy play there where Matt Stafford's not looking for the ball. Bucs get back the ball. Credit to the Rams, 2 4th downs. They stopped the Bucs. I mean, that's the key right there. You're down 27-13. You get closer with Mike Evans there, 55-yard touchdown after there's a fumble caused by Ndamukong Suh. Constant veteran that doesn't get talked about on this team. Cam Akers puts the ball on the ground twice today. Cooper Kupp even put the ball on the ground with Jamel Dean. The defense did some good things today. I'm not going to kill them. But when you have an opportunity to make a signature play in the last 44 seconds and you allow Cooper Kupp once again to get 20 yards and then 44 yards with, I don't know what that is, what that coverage is. Wasn't very good, was it? And it gives the opportunity for the Rams to kick the 30-yard field goal for Matt Gay. It's not good. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I know I saw Ed calling in. Call back in. I know we want to start off with phone calls, but I want to make sure we set the table, right? I want to make sure that you understand that, yes, it's a tough loss. And yes, the Rams are moving on. And who wanted to see the Rams move on and play in their house versus the 49ers? Who wanted to see that? Nobody. Nobody who watches this show. And if you wanted to see it, you're a troll. All right, let's go out to this guy. I know he has some things to say. Let's get his walk-up music on. Here we go. Hold on. All right, Ed. Ed from Palm Harbor, welcome to the Evolution as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Rams 30-27. Go.
Hey, I'm very disappointed, obviously, on how the game turned out. It got very exciting towards the end there. And then right when they scored the touchdown, my cable went out, and I used Roku service, and damn, I couldn't even see the rest of the game.
Just all the way around today was a tough day for you, huh, my friend? I mean, not only is the game pretty much, the majority dominated by the Rams, but then you lose cable when the Bucs finally tied the game up. Sorry about that. Yeah.
And so I didn't get to see the end of the game where they lost the game. But anyways, one thing I want to bring up is they got to do something about the officiating. Brady gets a blow to the head. They call a 15-yard penalty on him.
Right.
I just can't fathom that. Maybe that hurt them from winning the game or not. I don't know. Probably not. It probably wouldn't matter. But anyways, I think the thing that nailed the missed field goal in the second half is probably what nailed it.
It's tough. It's tough. You can't miss. But
Yeah.
you have Matt Gay who misses 47 yards, which gives the Bucs new life. But not able to convert on fourth down. That hurt him. Turning over the ball from the first half. Brady not having his best game. That hurt him. The constant pressure by this Rams defense getting after Brady, throwing the ball for over 50 times wasn't a great recipe. In fact, the final statistics here: 11 hurries by the Rams defense, 3 sacks, and 4 quarterback hits. And it seemed like not only on that right side where they decided to try to double team, but Donovan Smith was getting handed his lunch at that point by Von Miller. That's disappointing. But again, it was to be expected that this was going to be a tough matchup. And as always, we talk about quarterbacks and wide receivers and this and that and the other thing. But at the end of the day, the game starts up front in the trenches. And today the Rams were better up front than the Bucs, period.
And I really hate the media speculation that Brady's not coming back next year. There's no reason why he wouldn't. He's under contract. He had obviously the greatest year that he had as a quarterback.
Sure.
Why would he quit now? I just don't see it. So I believe he'll be back, and we'll get another shot at winning another Super Bowl. But
we'll see we'll see what happens. But some big changes in store for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lots of unrestricted free agents, of course. Now we have to turn the page after this game and talk about Chris Godwin being a free agent, coming off an injury. What's the status on him? Carlton Davis, also a free agent. I mean, there's some players that they're going to have to re-sign and make some decisions on it. Sue, of course, the JPP possibly. I mean, this team could look dramatically different. And who knows? I hate to say it. You never say it with the Bucs, but maybe that window could be closing here pretty soon. But again, a lot of people say doom and gloom for this team. They're going to have a mass exodus of players. I'm not ready to say that. Let's let this thing play out. Let's see what Jason Light and Bruce Arians and the Glazers have in store for us in the offseason. But unfortunately, that's what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're turning the page to tomorrow is the offseason and this Bucs loss to the Rams.
Yep, that's it, man. I mean, but again, if they don't start doing something about the officiating, and the officiating's been terrible all year.
Disappointing.
It's very, very disappointing. I mean, the worst I've seen it ever. And if they don't do something about it, I don't see any reason to watch football. I mean, seriously.
Well,
the guy's got a bloody lip and you don't call a penalty.
Well, and again, the whole emphasis is for the NFL to protect the quarterback on that and call the penalty. You call the penalty on Von Miller. And I get it. Brady was talking about that this week, that he gets away with, talking to the official. But you could clearly see Von Miller went in with his helmet to helmet shot. Brady is bleeding. They don't call the penalty on Miller. They call the penalty on Brady because he's upset, and as he should be. Again, if the emphasis is on protecting the quarterback and also protecting players with helmet to helmet shots, call it across the board. If you don't do it, then get out of my face with it. What else, Ed?
Exactly. That's pretty much it. I'm at the movie theaters right now and sitting in the movie theater right now with the movie starting, so I got to run.
All right, my friend, enjoy it. Let me go ahead and give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let me go ahead and fire the cannons, and let me go ahead and give you the woo. Appreciate you as always. Thanks a lot for the time, and keep on calling the evolution. Enjoy the movie. All right, my friend?
Sure.
All right, good stuff. Bucs lose 30-27. We'll talk about it here with you guys. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We're live here on I Love St. Pete, the hub of course, the sports web. Like and subscribe. Super chats out there. We'll see how long we're going to go because I understand it. I get it. I know you want to talk about it. I know you're hurting right now, but it's okay. It's all right. We'll get through it together. 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. This isn't real life. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it either. Roger Shue says, how about those Bucs, baby? Absolutely. Troy Polamalu here. He just won a tub full of money. I can tell you that he didn't bet on the game. So you're completely wrong as always. You're 0 for about 99 at this point, honestly, with your comments. I mean, they're just completely off as always. Good stuff, Troy Polamalu. You win the ass prize for the day. Should have played coverage in OT. Absolutely. Could definitely see There were some coverage breakdowns at that point. Bucs were trying to be aggressive. Great season, Bucs. Even though we came short, they should have folded 2 years ago, or they would have folded 2 years ago. Their mentality has changed. That right there is a great comment. Let me give you the Byron.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Troy Polamalu, it's a great day in Tampa Bay. Yes, of course it is, Troy, because you're not a Bucs fan, and you've obviously you have put that out there over and over again. I quite honestly don't understand why you continue to come back to this broadcast if you're not a Bucs fan, besides just to troll people. I mean, your act, you just need to get a new act, my friend. Seriously. Great season, Bucs. Bucs way to fight to the end. Roger Shue says, cry Brady gonna retire now. Nothing has been confirmed, but you get this for that. Fire Leftwich, cut Smith, cut Bunting. Once again, not happening. Christopher Cole says it was a great game. It was. And again, we talk about it. We go through this over and over again with this team. You can't get off to slow starts. And it doesn't start out very well, does it? Rams go down. They score a touchdown. They're up 7-0. Next thing you know, it's 10-3. Bucs do a good job. Excuse me. It's 3-0. But then the Rams score on the tight end touchdown there early in the first half. It's 10-0. Bucs finally get on the board with 10-3, but not the same offense we've saw throughout the season. And we talked about it again. And then you got the big play to Cooper Kupp in the second quarter, and that's a backbreaker. Because at that point, it's 17-3. And then it becomes 20-3. And the defense came out and did everything they could to get pressure on Tom Brady. And guys in that first half weren't winning their matchups. And there was a lot of drop passes in this game, which was disappointing. And then you have an interception right before halftime. Special teams, very poor. Very poor. Bradley Pinion, I think he's still kicking the ball out of bounds. Did it twice today. Jalen Darden, you're not only giving the Rams those extra yards, but you're also not able to get good field position with Jalen Darden, who went out with an injury later on in this game. Disappointing. But they made it. They made it a game. Give the Bucs credit. Give them credit. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Jesse. Refs are so bad, man. The no call hit to the head of Brady cost us the game. I'm not ready to say that cost you the game. I mean, again, not protecting Brady cost you the game. Giving up over 300 yards of passing to Matt Stafford cost you the game. Coverage breakdowns, communication. I'm not going to just go on here and say that it was all the refs. I'm not. Was it disappointing? Yes. Very disappointing. Sean Hockley and that referee crew should never be able to do another game in the postseason. Period. When it comes down to that. Disappointing. Harry coming on, not sure yet. Troy Polamalu, Arians and Brady just announced they won't be back next year. Once again, fake news. Jesse says the hit on Evans penalty blows my mind how they didn't give us the first, because what they were trying to say is that it was a post. I guess the word I'm looking for, it was a dead ball penalty at that point. The ball hit the ground. But I don't know how you determine that. I don't know how you determine that. Very questionable call. Very questionable call in that situation on 4th and 14. And again, it was clearly a helmet-to-helmet shot. So I don't know how you determine it. I don't. Ethan says, all those opportunities. Yep. Africa 101, we left too much time on the clock. Possibly. Absolutely. Troy Polamalu, here come the excuses from Bucs fans. It's not excuses. I'm sorry. I think the whole excuse thing is disappointing on your part. And it's a bad play, Troy. It really is. Because we all know, Troy, that's not your real name, but we'll just say it is. because obviously you're a coward and can't share your real name. So that's how it goes here on the sports web, right? We can play this game. I don't know who you are, but whatever. Trolling is allowed here on the show. I'll give it to you. But losing Chris Godwin, losing Antonio Brown, losing Tristan Wirfs, having your whole defense decimated the whole year, not playing together until this game right here, that's big. I'm sorry, that's not an excuse. And still, with all that being said there, Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend, SC, who the hell knows who the hell you are? This team still had an opportunity to win. So what's your point? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Earl Harris, secondary straight trash. Todd Bowles is pitiful play calling. Troy Polamalu. Here come the excuses like Steve Smith said. Ice up, son. Well, here's the thing there, Troy Polamalu, King Troy. How about you call the show? How about you get on video? How about you explain who the hell you are? How about stop being a dumbass? How about that? You like that? Okay. Roger Shue, what a fun game. Was a fun game. Why did they blitz on the last play? Why not keep everyone in front of them? Why blitz? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I don't understand it. I'm not in Todd Bowles' head. I don't know who blew the coverage at that point. But I knew when Matt Stafford let the ball go and you saw Cooper Kupp behind Antoine Winfield Jr., you were in big trouble. And a perfectly placed pass by Matt Stafford. Perfect. Again, hats off to Matt Stafford. Because he really showed me something today. He really did. It looks like he's ready to take his team. And as my co-host would say, Harry the Greek of 1252 Chicago Sports, professional handicapper extraordinaire, the Rams have somewhat of a look of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. They're going to get a home game against the 49ers, who they were up 17-0 and lost to the 49ers. So they have an opportunity to face Jimmy Garoppolo. Stafford is playing well. He didn't have any turnovers besides the fumble, and that wasn't his fault. But the Rams did everything they could to try to lose this game in the second half. So very fortunate. Very fortunate. Andy Reid and Mahomes are laughing at the Bucs right now. I mean, I don't know why. They lost last year. I mean, and Troy, if you're a Chiefs fan, go ahead and just come out and say you're a Chiefs fan. And if you are a Chiefs fan, guess what? They sucked last year against this Bucs defense. You know, the defense that you're always critical against on Sean Murphy bunting. So, buddy, if you're a Chiefs fan or you're not a Bucs fan, defensively, they shut down the Chiefs last year. Did you forget? I guess you did, because you got selective amnesia and you're a trollback. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Evan Shear says, Peter, why did they blitz? I don't know, but we know that Todd Bowles blitz, right? They're always blitzing. They felt like they could get pressure on Stafford. They didn't get there. They didn't get there enough today, did they? That was one of the things we talked about also all week long. Going back to the first matchup, you got to get more pressure on Matt Stafford. If you give him a clean pocket, if you give him clean looks, he'll pick you apart. He did today with Cooper Kupp. So you didn't get there. Splits, what is it that Al Pacino said in Any Given Sunday? Split second too early, you don't get there. Split second too late, you miss on the play. I mean, that's football. It's probably not the quote. But you have to excuse me for not being able to remember that quote at this point. Because it was a tough game to watch at points. They were down 27-13. Their offense had no rhythm. Give credit to the Rams. They did more than the Bucs defensively, especially getting after Tom Brady. And with all that being said, the Bucs still had a chance to win. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Tough ending for the 2021 Bucs, but it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't. It was not. But look at these final stats here because I want to look at them as much as you don't necessarily want to look at them at this point. And again, open phone lines because I know there's a lot of people out there that are still upset as they should. Matt Stafford, 28 for 38, 360, excuse me. Yeah. 366, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Cam Akers, 2 fumbles on the ground. They held the running game in check to a certain degree, as we thought they would. 24 for 48. The big stat here, Cooper Kupp, 9 catches, 183 yards, 1 touchdown. That's tough. Very tough. I had the right score, but the wrong team won. It's okay. Happens. I'll still fire the cannons for you. Roger Shue, no firing the cannons, Pete. Season's over. We still fire the cannons, Roger. I'll keep on firing the cannons, Roger. You know why? Because it's my show. That's why. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Shooter and Stashes come back next year healthy and send Tom out on top. And again, before the game, the big time question is, will Tom Brady come back? That's been discussed. I don't know the inner workings of Tom Brady's mind. I don't know the inner workings of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wish I was a fly on that wall that knew this. I don't think he goes out like this. I think you want to come back. It just depends on what the Bucs organization wants to bring back on this team. Because it was doom and gloom last year. Well, you're going to have all this mass exodus of players, and it didn't happen. They brought them all back. Unfortunately, some key guys got hurt or quit on the team, which didn't help. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Why blitz then? Why no need? Play RD. How can we make a call like that? I don't know. I don't understand it either, my friend. I don't, but that's what they do. That's what they do, and you have to live with the consequences. You do. Put it on the board, yes. Yep, I'll put it on the board. I'll put this on the board.
Shut up!
We love you, Tom. Hope you come back for revenge tour. That was a gut punch. It was. It was tough. Ed says, I'm very mad that there was no penalty for the hit on the head of Brady. I agree with you on that. We've discussed it. It's disappointing. I'm not going to sit here and put it all on the refs. I'm not going to do that. I'm better than that. We don't do that here on the sports web. Because, yes, there were some bad calls by the refs. I get it. But again, when you don't get enough pressure on Matt Stafford, when you miss tackles, which we saw that today come out, which has been disappointing. It's been a disappointing aspect of this defense all year long. Not consistent enough tackling. Sean Murphy-Bunting was not good. There was a couple times there where you had Devin White miss a tackle here and there. That plays into it. Overall, you gave up too many big plays in this game, and it came back to haunt you, especially from Cooper Kupp, who continues to be a Bucs killer. God. And people say, you know what? Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady wins the MVP. Cooper Kupp absolutely deserves some consideration, especially after this game. I know they don't vote during this game, but you look at his statistics, what he's meant to that offense with losing a Robert Woods. Absolutely. And we're live here on the Hub. It's Hub Life. And of course, I love St. Pete. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about after a heartbreaking loss by your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 30-27 against the LA Rams. Once again, the Rams move on. Right now, if you're watching the Bills game against Kansas City. We'll see who wins that. Cincinnati, the big story in the AFC yesterday, big time win over Tennessee, comes down to a field goal. I mean, if you're a football fan right now, you got to love it. And I know, again, it hurts for Bucs fans, but this was a very close game. and a very exciting game. And who knows what's going to be the future of this team. But we'll be here on the sports web to let you know about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Dwayne, Uncle Dwayne Beatty, Peter Blake, I'm so sorry for your loss. And again, it's disappointing, but it's a loss. We put this in perspective. We do. We do here on the sports web because it is just a game. It's a heartbreaker. It's going to hurt. And because it's the Rams, it's even worse. Because the ghost of 79 and 99, and now we got 2022, come back to haunt us. All right, let's read these comments. Let's see what's going on. David says, stupid defensive call. Why? 40 seconds, we can't hold. I'm so sick. Yep. Yes, I'm the troll. Yes, you are. Where you at, Troy? Acknowledge me. Sandra Nagel says, hey, this is terrible. Looks like Dad's football team, Buffalo Bills, to win the Super Bowl. We will crush the LA Rams, will go down. We'll see. Because right now, the hottest team in the National Football League, hate to tell you guys, is the San Francisco 49ers. And you go and you beat Green Bay, and we talked about it. They have all the components to beat a team like the Rams. They've shown it. But Matt Stafford playing at a high level right now. You got to get the turnover situation cleaned up, though. 4 fumbles. That's a credit to that Bucs defense causing them. And that's what gets the Bucs back into the game. And that happens in the third quarter where Jamel Dean hits Cooper Kupp, causes that fumble, and it gives the Bucs sign for life at that point. Roger Shue says, rebuild in 2022. Yaz says, still Bucs love it. Fire the cannons. Definitely like and subscribe. Sandra Nagel says, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web, and I love St. Pete, the Sports. We can't call it the Sports Hub. It's the Hub, but on this channel, I guess it is the Sports Hub. They called that game with him getting a busted lip. A lot of people still talking about that. I was amazed that didn't get called, but it is what it is. You turn the page. It wasn't the thing that caused them to lose it. It was the fact of, you look at, again, go inside the numbers here because numbers tell the story. 3rd down, 3 for 14. Not going to get it done. The Bucs had big time problems on 3rd down today. And you just give credit to where credit is due. The Rams did a great job of getting after Tom Brady. Almost the whole game. And when he got time later on, because it looked like he had Scotty Miller wide open, he missed him. Disappointing. 4 for 11 for the LA Rams on 3rd down. 4th down, 2 for 4. Sacks allowed 3. Penalties, turnovers didn't help. But overall, the Rams played a better game. And still, the Bucs had a chance to win. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Roger Shoes, I'm going to block him. It's okay, don't do that. Peter, I'm about to block Troy the troll. Don't do that. Just kidding, bro. Troll your ass off. Roger says, stop trolling the refs. Evan says, I think Todd Bowles hurt his head coaching chances with the last call. Who knows? I mean, a 1 game, a 44-second sample. What Todd Bowles has done as a defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been tremendous. Did I agree with the play calling on the last of it, the last of the 4th quarter? No, of course not. But again, who knows? It'll come out. We'll hear what they have to say. We'll get the press conferences and see what they have to say at the end of the game here live on the Evolution tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. We'll have Leo Haggerty. We'll have JP Peterson of FanStream Sports and the JP Peterson Show talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, getting his analysis, talking about the Rays Stadium situation. Ding dong, the witch is dead. No more sister city plan with Montreal. That's good. And we'll see where we go from here. And I think that's where it's going to begin. I think that's where now that the Bucs season is over with. We'll see what Tom Brady's decision is, if he is going to come back or not. What are the decision-making guys going to do for the Buccaneers? What kind of decisions are they make? Who's going to come back? Who's not? We know the Bucs have lots of free agents. We know they have lots of decisions to make. And once again, we'll have it for you here on the Sports Web. Roger says, Troy, call in. Troll tough guy. David says, too many drop passes to start the game. Exactly. I mean, and you get down 17-3, 20-3, 27-3. You come clawing back. But it's disappointing. It really is. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Charles there, Peter.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Listen, man, I got all emotional. 27-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Fournette seemed to have scored on the same play that James White scored in Super Bowl 51. Tying it up.
Yep.
I'm thinking, oh my God, are we seeing another comeback?
Yep.
But the defense blew it.
Yep, they blew it. And I mean, I don't know what the coverage call was. A lot of people upset about the blitz. We know that Todd Bowles is going to blitz. But I think at the end of the day, Charles, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And what I mean by that is if you don't blitz, if you play lax coverage and you give the Rams that opportunity, maybe they do something like they did in the first play with the 20 yards to Cooper Kupp. Although, if you do blitz at that point, you're giving up that big play to Cooper Kupp for 44 yards. You have one-on-one coverage. There was some busted coverage. At the end of the day, though, for me, hat tip to the LA Rams, Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. The Bucs didn't get nearly enough pressure on Stafford today. When Stafford got those open looks and when you blitzed on him, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. When you do that, you take your chances and you get burned this time.
Yeah, very accurate down the field, and he's got the receivers, and he's got the receivers to do it. Even though Woods was injured, but you got OBJ and Kupp out there, and don't forget Higby in the middle. He's that Gronk for them.
He is, and he made some big catches for them today, including on that first drive there, right down the seam. Bucs defense, to their credit, they make the Rams settle for a field goal, but those are the kind of coverage breakdowns we saw throughout this season, whether it was from injury or just communication itself, that came back to hurt the Bucs. And then, of course, missing a field goal, having turnovers and the pressure. You've watched Brady for years. He was under siege today, and it came on that right side. And not only came on that right side, but later on in the game came on the left side from Von Miller over Donovan Smith, right?
Yeah, they did. The one good adjustment I saw them doing was keeping Gronk down to block and even Fournette on Brady's weak spot or on the other side. So double teaming on the outside to give Brady was imperative. He had a lot of time, and I think that's what opened up their offense, even though it took Gronk out of making some yards and Fournette out of making any swing passes on the times he's blocking. He was able to find Evans. He was able to find Scotty and make some plays and get them back to where they need to be. They were there. They had everything there ready to go. The momentum was on their side, and my heart dropped because yes, Brady's not with the Patriots anymore. I get it, but you know what, man, it showed some history back there, man. It brought back memories.
It definitely brought back some memories. This would be Mr. Charles Richardson here of the Charles Richardson Show. Thanks a lot for tuning in and calling in. Let me ask you this, Charles. The rumors were before the game, Brady could possibly retire. This could be his last game at Raymond James Stadium. Do you buy that? Or once again, much to do about nothing, just rumors? You don't think Tom goes out like this, do you?
Brady is not one to talk to the media about this unless something's up.
Yeah.
And he did make comments on it.
Yeah.
So I think the issue is swirling around his head. And I think in the offseason, there's going to be 3, possibly 4 players at that dinner table. It's going to be Brady, Giselle, and Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to all depend. Gronk and Brady are going to say, listen, do we run it back or are we going to call it quits? And I think Giselle's already made it clear that, listen, it's family time now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say he goes out because part of that comment he says, I want to go out on another Super Bowl.
Yep.
But do you want to go through another season again and possibly not get it, or how much time do you want to? I wouldn't say waste. I think you're doing your career, you love what you do, but hey, Giselle should sit him down and say, "Listen, I got the groceries. Don't worry, babe. I got it. You stay home. Don't get a concussion. Don't get another torn knee or anything like that. Play with your son. He's already 14 years old. Let's play with him and groom our other kids here as well. And it's time to retire and call Jeter, and maybe they can go ahead and get a play date together. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, today again, the pressure. He's not going to last for long if you have a pressure like that next year. And I think it's going to come down to, Charles, what the Bucs do in the offseason. Of course, lots of decisions to make, as there were last year. They were able to bring everybody back, but you don't know about Byron Leftwich. If he's going to stay here, is he going to get a coaching job? Todd Bowles has been interviewed at this point. Chris Godwin and his impending free agency. You also have Carlton Davis. I mean, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. And who knows about the cap? I think the cap can be manipulated at the end of the day. You can throw money down the road, but it's going to come down to Brady's decision. It's also going to come down to the Bucs, and if they do want to run this back. With that being said, right now, who do you like in these championship games? Rams versus the 49ers. Rams at home. We saw what the 49ers did last night versus the Green Bay Packers. Kind of a surprise, but not really, because they have all the components to do that. And then on the AFC side right now, Cincinnati's been the story, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs because I'm hosting a show right now. So what's going on?
Yeah. Well, Peter, on the NFC side, let me ask you this. Who is the other New England Patriot that's still left, or ex-New England Patriot that's still left?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Yep.
So my heart says Jimmy G, but my heart also says, damn, you got to stop these Rams.
You do. You really do.
You have to stop them at home.
Yep.
And I'm going to call conspiracy if it's going to be back-to-back Super Bowls with a home team hosting after 55 Super Bowls. They don't.
Yep.
I mean, it's just crazy. But if I'm a betting person, I'd take the Rams. And right now, it's back and forth between the Chiefs and Bills. I'm really pulling for Buffalo, believe it or not, because if my team's going to go down like they did with that much firepower, I'm going to want to say, hey, at least they're the AFC champions.
Sure. No, absolutely. I agree with you on that. I picked Buffalo at the beginning of the year to face the Bucs. So the Buffalo Bills still have an opportunity the way that Josh Allen has played lately. We'll see. I think there's a lot of people out there who would like to see the 88-89 Super Bowl happen again with Cincinnati versus the San Francisco 49ers. It's not that far-fetched, especially with the way Joe Burrow has played. Are you surprised of how that kid in his second year, coming off a dramatic injury like he has, really is playing lights-out football for this Bengals offense?
I'm not too surprised. He always had the potential, and now you go ahead and get the Rookie of the Year, and we all know he's going to be the Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase. This is just proven point to anybody who's looking at the quarterback with even a little bit of potential. Because did we really see Joe Burrow as an A+ quarterback or an A-rated quarterback? No, he's probably like maybe B. High C, low B rating.
Sure.
But you go ahead and bring Jamar Chase, and he makes anybody look good.
Yep.
So when you go now look at free agency, you're looking for that knockout wide receiver, that number one guy that you can go ahead and just light up the city with. So no, I'm not really as surprised with Joe Burrow. Am I surprised at how dominant he's been? Yes. I think he showed it. Even though he got sacked 9 times, you still stay in that pocket and you still sling it around 28 times, completing almost 75% of your passes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a heck of a performance.
Definitely heck of a performance. Good stuff, Charles. Thanks a lot for the call. Any final thoughts here, my friend, on the evolution?
I predict Brady does retire.
Okay, there you go. Charles Richardson there of the Charles Richardson Show. Go ahead and promote yourself, my friend, here on the Sports Web Live on I Love St. Pete in the Hub.
Yep. Go ahead and look for me on Facebook, Charles Richardson, on the Charles Richardson Show page. I am on 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. The priority show, the priority station, rawtalkonlineradio.com. You can go ahead and hear me on audio all the time.
All right, we'll go ahead and give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Thanks a lot for the call, man. We appreciate you. All right, boss?
Take care.
All right, there you go. Charles Richardson chiming in. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. A heartbreaking loss by your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Say it ain't so. It is over. The season is over. Of course, now we wait and we see what Tom Brady's going to do. We see what this Tampa Bay Buccaneer staff, I'll go to the staff first, is going to look like. Because we don't know what's going to happen with Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles. I know there's a lot of people out there that would like to see Todd Bowles gone. I'm not one of them. I don't want to lose this whole coaching staff, but who knows? Tell you what, let's go out to Jason Powers. Powers on Sports podcast after the Bucs in heartbreaking fashion lose to the Rams 30-27. Your thoughts, my friend? How you doing?
Hey, distraught, man. What a tough way to go down, man.
Yep.
I mean, I am just stunned that the Bucs got caught with their pants down on the last play there of the Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know. Again, who knows whose fault it was, who made which DB made the wrong read, whatever. But
sure.
It's just unbelievable that they would get stuck with no safety help, no safety at all in the middle of the field on a play like that from the 40-yard line.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Cooper Kupp, beats you for that 44 yards. And people are saying, well, you shouldn't blitz. And I think, again, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you play lax coverage, he's still going to find a way to get open, probably not for 44 yards. But at that point, not only are you competing against Matt Stafford, but Matt Gay's made some long field goals. Of course, he missed the 47-yarder. He's been pretty consistent this year. But I understand it. I don't know where the communication breakdown was. I don't understand the call. But it's neither here nor there at this point. Now you got to get ready for the offseason. But going back to the game, that first half, we talked about it before, Jason Powers, where this Bucs team lacks, and they've got off to these kind of starts this year. This time it came back to haunt them. Even though the Bucs were able to come back 27-3 down, it still came back to haunt them because you have to expend all that energy. And then on top of it, you had a missed field goal at the in the early part of this game by Ryan Suckup.
No doubt. I mean, one thing you can say was, the first half, offensively, the guys we needed to step up and make some plays did. Tyler Johnson had a big drop on a third down, would have been a first down, kept the drive moving. Tom wasn't very accurate the first 4 or 5 throws of the game. He missed a couple guys that he had for whatever reason. Again, this was before he was even getting hit. I mean, and I was really, really disappointed in Donovan Smith. He was, obviously you knew you were going to have to swing some help to the right side with Josh Wells with no worse.
Sure.
But I was a little disappointed in Donovan and his inability to hold up on the left side, which made it even worse when both sides are collapsing. It makes it really, really tough.
Yeah, really tough. And we saw that, and that's the reason why the Rams invest those picks in Von Miller. He was wasn't showing his age. He was old Von Miller, and he was a terror on that left side. And look, you're exactly right. When you're swinging, when you have two, you're trying to help out on the right side because you lose Tristan Wirfs, and I thought that was probably the most surprising aspect of the game. I thought Wirfs would play. We were under the impression that he was okay, that he was good to go, but he was not. That was a big factor in the game. And, of course, we expected them to put tight ends on that side to help out because Josh Wells wasn't getting it done. As, you have to face either a Leonard Floyd or an Aaron Donald. It's going to always be a tough matchup. But you would think that Donovan Smith would be able to hold up versus Von Miller. It didn't happen today. And when that pocket collapsed, we know that Brady, it's hard for him to escape it. So that's what the Rams did today. That was the game plan. And it always has to be the game plan. And on the other side of that, Jason Powers, the Bucs defense didn't do enough of getting after Matt Stafford. That's why you picked him apart for over 300 yards of passing today.
No, I mean, and you're right. I mean, the second half, the Bucs pass rush was much better. They got some pressure, obviously some sacks. But the first half, I mean, obviously on the third and 20, that you give up the 75-yard touchdown or 70-yard touchdown to Kupp.
Yep.
Which is again another safety breakdown. Mike Edwards, what is he doing going to the middle of the field when he's got quarters coverage? I don't know what he was doing there, but just that was a backbreaker because it was only 7-0 at the time or 3-0, and the momentum swinging. You got 3rd and 20. You finally settle down a little bit after the first couple drives, and then you give up a 70-yard touchdown 3rd and 20. And again, I'm I don't love the calls there at the end with no, again, who knows if it was a zero coverage situation or if just one of the safeties made a mistake and jumped the wrong route or whatever. We'll never know. But you can't. I don't have a problem blitzing, but you can't play zero coverage in the last 30 seconds of the game like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that either. And you're exactly right. Cooper Kupp, 69 yards to make it 17-3. And at that point, it's 10-3. You give up a big play like that. It is such, it just, it takes the air out of that balloon and also takes the crowd out of the game. The crowd was ferocious when the Bucs got back into it. You could see that Stafford and an offense were having difficulty. I don't know what the hell that was. It looked like Keystone Cops there with the ball being snapped. Stafford not being ready for it, and the Bucs, of course, recover it. 4 fumbles in this game. If the Rams want to move on to the Super Bowl 56, they can't turn the ball over, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, they're now got the 49ers next week, and that's going to be obviously an inter-division rivalry, which they know each other backwards and forwards. It's going to be a physical game. Obviously, San Francisco's going to try to bully them. That's how they beat them in the past. Is not by throwing the ball, but by bullying them and running the ball. And,
sure.
Just and again, back to the Bucs game real quick. I said this. I was watching the game in real time, and I know we were so excited about the comeback and the fumble recovery, but I kept saying somehow, some way, we want to score in the last 20 seconds of the game. We didn't want to score as fast as we did,
right? Because
you knew the Rams were going to make an effort to go kick a field goal, and if you score with 20 seconds left in the game, they're not going to make an effort. They're going to kneel on the ball and go to overtime. Again, you're not going to tell Fournette to fall down at the 1 yard line, but it was unfortunate that they scored with as much time as they did because you knew the Rams were going to try to move the ball and score it. And how unlucky were we on the first play when you sack Stafford and the ball almost comes out on the last drive on first down when we sack them and then the ball almost comes out and then 2 plays later your season's over.
Well, and there was some missed opportunity today. Jamel Dean had an opportunity early on. I think it was the first drive there to get an interception. Of course, the Bucs hold him to a field goal. I mean, those are the type of things that, again, if you give Matt Stafford those second opportunities, going to make you pay. We're on with Jason Powers, Powers on Sports podcast. Of course, the No Quarter Given podcast on the BuckPower.com network. Stafford final numbers, 28 for 38, 366, 2 touchdowns. In your opinion, do you feel like right now he's in a zone where they will beat the 49ers because of his quarterback play, or do you think this 49er pass rush has an opportunity to get after him?
No, I definitely think I think it's going to be an excellent matchup. I mean, give Stafford credit. He played really well today for 2.5, 3 quarters. I mean, he had a couple loose throws, but he really didn't throw a ball that was just that you thought, oh my God, what is he doing?
Yeah.
When you throw them, and remember, folks, when you throw the ball as much as these guys do in the NFL, you're going to have 1 or 2 throws a game that's in traffic that you got to make. That's going to be interceptable potentially. And the question is, does the defense intercept the ball when they get the chance? And we had 2 chances today. Jamel Dean had a chance, more of a chance on the second one in the end zone, if you recall, that Stafford threw behind them in the end zone. Jamel Dean wasn't able to catch it in the end zone. But you got to be opportunistic when you get the chance to catch the ball. You got to catch the ball.
Right, and again, Bucs didn't help Brady with an interception there right before the half. Looks like he was trying to force it to Gronkowski. The safety jumped it. He got it. Again, very fortunate, very optimistic defense there with Winfield causing a turnover. It could have been a lot worse before halftime there, causing a fumble by Cam Akers. Cam Akers once again puts the ball on the ground to give the Bucs a second life at that point. What did you see?
Go ahead.
No, what did you see? Yeah, go ahead with Cam Akers. I mean, we've watched this kid. They seem like they have confidence, but again, Jason, if he keeps on putting the ball on the ground, you're going to see more of Sonny Michel, right?
No, I mean, Akers is the explosive guy. Michel's kind of a plotter between the tackles. Akers is definitely their number 1 option. He's the guy he's the electric guy. So, again, ball security. You have to know the situation if you're Cam Akers.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go in the game. There's no need to fight for the extra yards. If you run in between the tackles, it has to be 2 hands on the ball. Great play by Sue. You can't be trying to juke guys in the hole.
Yep.
Get your 3 yards and get on the ground and keep the clock running.
All right, my friend, we got to run. We got Leo Haggerty about to come on here. Your final thoughts on this season. Lots of rumors about Tom Brady possibly being his last game at Raymond James. In your opinion, Where do you stand on this? Do you think Tom Brady's going to hang it up, or do you think it depends on first what the Bucs do coaching wise, and then offensive personnel, getting guys in here, and who are they going to re-sign? Where do you think it lies right now? Do you think we saw the last of Brady, or is he going to come back next year, in your opinion?
You know what? TJ, our buddy TJ asked Bruce Arians directly in the postgame about, are you coming back? And he said he's coming back. I have a hard time believing Tom Brady would wait this late in the process to tell the Buccaneer organization that he's not coming back. I think losing in the divisional round. Also, remember, he talked about he wants to play till he's 45 years old. Well, he's not 45 yet. He'll be 45 next year. I think you're going to see Brady come back for one more year and declare, hey, at the end of it, he's going to declare early in the offseason, hey, I'm going to play one more year, and that's going to be it. I don't think he's going to go out like this late in the process, all of a sudden tell the Buccaneers, hey, I'm retiring. But we never know.
We never know. We never know about this playoffs. The playoffs, the way it has been, coming down to field goals. Hopefully the Chiefs and Bills game lives up to that billing. Great stuff as always, Mr. Jason Powers, my tag team partner. Powers on Sports Podcast, and of course, No Quarter Given. Hopefully, I know this won't be the last time we talk, but it's been a pleasure, my friend, having you as a co-host of the Sports Web, going out to watch parties. And we'll see what we're going to do here in the offseason in the next couple months, my friend. All right?
Yeah, great job all year, Peter. Really enjoyed it. And you're doing a great job, man. Keep it up, and we'll talk real soon.
Yes, we will. Jason Powers, Powers on Sports Podcast. No Quarter Given. Thanks a lot for your time, and we'll see you soon on The Evolution, all right?
You got it, buddy. See ya.
See ya. All right, there you go, Jason Powers. Let's go ahead and hit up the man himself, the legend, Mr. Leo Haggerty, get his thoughts on this game. That's what happens here on The Evolution. You feel a little bit better. I get it. Once again, Bucs fans, you're heartbroken, as you should, because after being down 27-3, you come back. You come, 27-13. You tie the game up with Leonard Fournette on fourth. Let's go out to the guy here. Let's get his intro on. Here we go. All right, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions. It's Sports Mag here live. Was in the press box today. Your thoughts on this game as the Bucs fall in heartbreaking fashion against the LA Rams 30-27. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Peter, you don't have 45 minutes for me to go over what the heck went wrong, because you can talk about 10 things for the Rams, 10 things for the Bucs that they did right, they did wrong.
Yep.
What a great game. But let's start with the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tristan Wirfs was inactive.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Now you got a problem because you got Wells with a bad ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So what the Bucs did is they had thought about moving Cap out there, which I thought would have been a bad move, only because now you're trying to replace two people.
Sure.
And so Wells tried it, ran out of it, just couldn't go on that ankle. And then you brought in Leverett, who didn't play that badly.
Didn't.
But the Rams scheme was genius. If you saw the game, ladies and gentlemen, the Rams were running what we call in the coaching profession a ghost nine.
Okay.
Now, normally, when the defensive end lines up, he lines up at what's called a 9 technique, which is off the shoulder of the tackle.
Okay.
He can run a wide 9, which is out another spot. Or he can run a ghost 9. The reason they call it ghost, you don't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Von Miller and Aaron Donald at times were in what they call ghost 9. And they are so fast and so good of athletes that it was forcing the tackle to drop so fast that he couldn't anchor. And they were running the edge. Well, in the first quarter and into the second quarter, Brady was catching the pass in the shotgun and was dropping back. Well, he was dropping back right into the rush because all the tackles could do was push these guys around the outside. Now, the Bucs figured that out in the second half. Brady caught the ball and didn't retreat. He sat there or would step up, and that made it a little better. But, Peter, you talk about
the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat.
I'm telling you, I mean, it really was. And look, they didn't have their biggest play until the mid-third quarter with 42 yards to Gronkowski at that point. But, you know, some big plays here. You saw Brady scale the pocket, throw a beautiful wheel route to Leonard Fournette, catch it one-armed, and then, you know, the touchdown there to make it 27-20. Mike Evans just beat Jalen Ramsey, and all we heard all week long was Jalen Ramsey was going to dominate this matchup, and on that play, Mike Evans showed why most likely he's going to be in the Hall of Fame one of these days.
I didn't understand how Jalen Ramsey let him get behind you, but you know what? And again, Jerome Vickers, who you've met, he has a great line that he tells defensive backs. If he's even, he's leaving. And as soon as Evans got even with him, you got to figure he's leaving. He's gone.
Sure.
And what Mike Evans does the best is he shields with the body. He'll cut you off, get in front of you a little bit where you can't jump or dive or get that arm up. And Brady dropped a dime right in the bucket. I mean, come on.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, and again, Peter, you talk about what ifs. Let's go to the final drive.
Sure.
If Fournette falls on the 1 yard line to run the clock, because you could see Brady was milking the clock as much as he could.
Correct.
And they gave, I don't think they gave the Rams too much time, but they sacked Stafford on the first play and forced him to use their last timeout. The only way the Rams can now get into field goal range is to get out of bounds. How in God's name they let Cooper Kupp get out of bounds? And again,
20 yards, and they let him get out of bounds. Nobody's tackling him, and I think that was one of the most disappointing aspects of this game. And you saw this firsthand. There was a lot of missed tackles today by the Bucs, and that really came back to haunt them also.
And there were a lot of guys with 20s and 30s on that were missing those tackles.
Yep.
I tell you, the defensive backs didn't have a good game.
No.
Let's be real.
No.
And Peter, the next to last play. How does well, we still can't understand why Todd Bowles dialed up a blitz. And he dialed up a blitz right where Cooper Kupp was. If he'd have just played coverage, and Ndamukong Suh beat his man clean, and he is coming right up to shoot.
Yep.
If they were back in a cover 3 or a cover 4 or a man under double high, that probably would have got picked off.
Sure.
So I just, again, I don't know if it's a mistake. One of my guys, Al Curtis, and you know Al.
Yep.
He said, maybe that was something he missed as he was going for an interview. I said, ooh, that's it.
Well, I mean, a lot of Bucs fans were pointing to that. We're on with the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions, It's Sports Mag, after the heartbreaking loss from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over losing to the Rams 30-27 here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web, live on I Love St. Pete and the Hub. And you could see the 15-yard penalties in this game. I mean, a lot of people are talking about how Brady got the 15 yards. That had, that was bad. That hurt them. You talk about the Mike Evans play there. I mean, what's your take on it? Von Miller clearly looked like he was going helmet to helmet. It was late. And yet Brady's the one that gets the penalty because he bitches at the refs. And then on the play by Eric Weddle, clearly helmet to helmet shot. But how did they determine that it's a dead ball foul at that point?
Peter, sadly, and I say this sadly, the referees got that one right.
Okay.
Because once the ball hit the ground, the play was dead. So now it becomes a dead ball foul. My problem is, man, now all of a sudden you got open season on, a fourth down play, and that happens. You can just take a free shot at somebody, and there's no penalty to it. I'm going,
right.
No.
Right.
That can't happen. That's got to be something that they got to change that rule.
Sure.
Only because of that, for the safety of players. That's got to happen.
That's got to happen. And I mean, that's the thing that was, I was confused about is the fact of, if you're going to talk about helmet to helmet shots, clearly Von Miller went into Tom Brady. He even busted his lip open, and Brady's getting the penalty instead of Von Miller. Why is that? If it's going to be anything, why is it not at least offsetting penalties at that point? Because of course it puts the Bucs in a hole. What are the refs? What is Sean Hockley thinking at that point?
Well, Brady must have said the magic word, and I don't know what the magic word is.
Right.
That is the first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in Tom Brady's career.
Amazing.
I leaned over to Randy Harris and I said, I can guarantee you this is the last playoff game this crew is doing.
There should be, to me, if you're making calls like that, very questionable calls over and over again at critical times to possibly decide games. And I didn't come on this broadcast and say, look, the referees are the reason why the Bucs lost this game, because that's naive on my part. That's not true. But if it does determine somewhat of the game, then they have to be disciplined. And if they're not disciplined, they're going to continue to make these calls. So I think
they're going to get disciplined.
They should.
I think there's no doubt that that's going to happen. But again, the league will not make that a point of contention.
Yeah.
They will not let anybody know what actually happened.
Right.
But again, the funny thing was that the Buccaneers really were hamstrung on offense and still scored 27 points.
Amazing.
Which, yes, totally amazing. Because that was something I just didn't think. I thought it was going to be high scoring, which it was.
Sure.
And it should have been a little bit more. But when you look at what the Buccaneers were able to accomplish with a third-team offensive tackle, right? A running back who was coming back and played the game maybe of his life.
Absolutely. And by the way, Leonard Fournette deserves to be re-signed. I get it. He had the injury this year, but he's a complete, total back. I was wrong about him. I'm able to say that I was wrong about him because the way he played today, the way he's played throughout the season, I think you got to sign him to a big contract. I'm not sure about that, but if Brady comes back, and we'll get back to that in a moment because there seems like there is some conjecture, SAT word, Leo word there, if he will come back. But Leonard Fournette there, 9 yards, big today, 2 touchdowns. I mean, how big is he to this offense, and how big was he to this offense all year long?
Oh, he was very important. And what people fail to realize is all of a sudden he became a huge part of the passing game.
Yep.
And, because he was able to catch the passes out of the backfield. And by doing that, he's a load to bring down. He's a big man.
Yep.
It's not like, and nothing against Giovanni Bernard, nothing against Ronald Jones, but Fournette is a load. So when he catches it, you better come up and make a tackle. And give credit to the Rams defensive backs. They missed very few tackles today.
Agree. Yeah. Besides maybe Tyler Johnson there making a move to get to the 1 yard line. He was a little bit shaken up, but you could see he had a drop pass. He's talking to Brady on the sideline. He really stepped up there that last quarter and a half, and they're going to need that. But again, putting it in perspective, you lose Antonio Brown because he quit. You lose Chris Godwin, what could have been, if you have two of those players or at least one of those players at that point. A guy that really stepped out today that I was impressed with, Scotty Miller. Talk about him.
Yeah, he made that big 4th down catch on the left sideline.
Yep.
He made a couple of key receptions there. And again, he was kind of like the forgotten man all year because he got hurt and, you can't make the club in the tub, so to speak.
Correct.
And when you look at what the Bucs were able to accomplish without a lot of people, and again, you're looking at Peter. How about this? 3 games on divisional weekend, all decided on the last play as time expired.
Amazing.
That's unheard of.
That's unheard of, and it's amazing to have as a football fan, whether you're a Bucs fan or not, you like the result. You had to say that was an exciting game, especially the majority of the game was dominated by the Rams. Now, much has been made once again about Tom Brady coming back. Where do you see this going? Is there smoke to this fire, or is it much to do about nothing? It's up to Tom Brady, and really nobody knows at this juncture if he's going to come back or not. And then also, does it depend on what coaches the Bucs lose and also what players they could possibly lose or what they're willing to bring back, if you will?
Yeah, I think a lot of things will come into play, Peter. Does Bruce Arians come back? Does Byron Leftwich or Todd Bowles take a head coaching job somewhere? Yeah, it's a whole lot of ifs, but Tom's going to make that decision. Now, again, first quarter and a half, he played like a 44-year-old guy.
Correct. And I don't think his offensive line helped him out, but there were some drops in this game. He was off. He started off in this game, something along the lines of like 0 for 4 or something like that.
0 for 4 right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Peter, in the first half, he was off. He was, they're talking about drops, but the passes were behind people.
Correct.
They were in front of them.
Correct.
Again, Gronk was thinking inside and he was thinking outside. So yeah, it happens. But again, when they needed Tom Brady to be Tom Brady, guess what? He was Tom Brady.
Yep. He was Tom Brady. It was an amazing comeback. We're on with Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. Once again, looking ahead here, Rams and 49ers in that NFC Championship game. In your opinion, is Matt Stafford right now on another level? You've watched this guy for many years. You have to be happy for him. He was flicking it when he got the opportunity. Can he beat the 49ers? Will it be that defensive line of the Rams that will step up, or will it be, in your opinion, possibly Jimmy G in the 49ers year to get back to that Super Bowl?
You know what, Peter? It's going to be an interesting game because George Kittle is banged up. They got a bunch of people on offense.
Saw Deebo Samuel banged up a little bit too, so we'll check the statuses of that. But Deebo is big. You're exactly right. Kittle has been off injured this year. If he's not 100%, it would tend to favor the Rams. And then, of course, Cincinnati Bengals, to me, they're the biggest story in the AFC with the second-year quarterback and Joe Burrow coming off the injury, Jamar Chase, how he stepped up. But goodness gracious, how did the Titans lose that game with having, 9 sacks? I mean, their offensive line is dreadful. Whoever moves on, the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs, you would tend to favor them over Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah, except the problem is Cincinnati finds a way to win. And now, again, I'm amazed. I'll be amazed if the Tennessee offensive coordinator makes it through the weekend. All right. Again, an example is they're down 16-6. They start a drive and go down to the Cincinnati 10, all on the ground, and then choose to throw the football and get it intercepted.
Sure.
It gets deflected, intercepted. Again, sometimes you try to be the smartest guy in the room, and then you're the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And again, when you look at Tennessee, the 3rd and 1 play.
It makes no sense. You try to quarterback sneak. You've got Derrick Henry. You've got Deontay Foreman. Why not try to run it? Why are you trying to sneak with Ryan Tannehill? And then on top of it, you go to 4th and 1, and everybody in their mama knows you're going to give it to Derrick Henry. Just like the Rams thought they knew that Tom Brady was going to get the sneak. And then, of course, Leonard Fournette goes on the outside there for the touchdown. I don't understand the play calling. And in fact, I thought Tannehill played a very poor game. In fact, he looked like a rookie yesterday with some of the throws he made.
Well, you know what, Peter? Again, the 3rd down one is they're in the shotgun and he fakes it. And my question still would be to the coaches or Tannehill, was that your choice to pull it, or was that the play? Because if that was the play, that was god awful, the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You got 3rd and 1. Okay, you give it to 22, you get the first down, and you keep moving on in a tie game. The fact that now they go to 4th and 1, and everybody in America and all the ships at sea know who's getting the rock. Cincinnati stops it.
Yeah.
And it just made no sense at all as to their rhyme or reason with their play calling.
Yeah.
And again, I'll tell you what, Peter, I got to bring this point up.
Sure.
San Francisco's block of the punt yesterday.
Huge. Huge play and totally disappointing. And it's not a shocker, guys, because it comes back to three phases of the game, Leo Haggerty, football 101, offense, defense, and special teams. And all year long, we talked about how Packers and that special teams was very poor, and it came back to haunt them last night, period.
And you know what, Peter? Here's the thing. That play almost was a penalty because according to the rule, you cannot line up on the center and you cannot technically cross his face. Well, the guy that blocks the punt lines up on the guard. But as soon as the ball is snapped, he goes right for the center. And he doesn't cross his face, but he pushes him back into the punter. Today, before the game started, both long snappers for the Rams and the Bucs were working on that particular thing. That if someone's coming, and I'm sitting there going to Randy Harris and to Ken Cross, look what they're doing. He goes, yeah, they're going exactly what the 49ers did. Did it violate the rule? No, but it may have violated the spirit of the rule. So again, how would you like to be the Green Bay defense, give up 6 points and lose the game?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's also your offense. Aaron Rodgers, there's been a lot of talk of him in his last game in Green Bay, but that offense, credit to where credit is due. Like you always say here, legend Leo Haggerty, the other team gets paid too, and the 49ers definitely deserved that pay last night because that defense did everything they could to shut down the Green Bay Packers. In fact, the first drive was basically the only drive they had in that game where you would say, man, that offense looked good. So with all that being said, do you feel like Aaron Rodgers' last game was last night with the Packers, and who do you think he ends up with?
I don't think so. I think the Packers are smart enough to figure out what side of the bread is buttered.
Okay.
And that's what number 12. Jordan Love is not ready right now.
No.
He's not ready.
No.
And again, if the Packers have visions of going, and again, Bakhtiari was not in the game, their offensive tackle. Again, that's just injuries play so big a part in the game.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Because if you look, there were 3 times I can recall, and probably more, where Aaron Rodgers is getting ready to hit a wide open receiver and gets sacked.
Yep.
Or gets tripped up.
Yep.
And it was just, that's why they call it football, and that's why they play it in the game. And again, Peter, I'm going to get on my soapbox here a little bit.
Sure, go for it.
Why is the NFL allowing TV to have a game in Green Bay where it's 0 degrees and snowy, where they could have had it at 3:00 in the afternoon and that wouldn't have been an issue? Again, they already decided before the end of the Packers game that the game next week was going to be at 6:00. You could have been facing the same thing in Green Bay. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
It's just nuts how TV is basically manipulating the NFL like it's a marionette. Let me pull a string and you jump. And that bothers me. That the NFL just doesn't say, hey, look, for the safety of our players, for the game, here's where we're going to play it. We're going to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at night because it's going to be nicer in Tampa than it is in Green Bay.
Sure.
So it made no sense to me.
And to me, it'll be a primetime matchup at the end of the day. I mean, I don't mind the 3:00. It was balmy today. It was football weather. It's not like it was, brutally cold or brutally hot, but who wouldn't want to see that game on Sunday night? Who wouldn't want to see that game at 6:30 between the Rams and the Bucs? It's neither here nor there. Final thoughts on this season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lots of changes ahead, or are we making too much about this and the Bucs will be just fine?
I think it all starts with BA.
Okay.
Is he coming back? If he comes back, then let's see what the coaching staff looks like. Sit down with 12, find out what's your thoughts. Are you coming back? I don't think he wants to go out like this.
No.
And
I can't see it.
I just don't think that's going to happen. They got to decide on Chris Godwin. They got to figure out, okay, do we have the money to sign him?
Well,
do we have the money to go after these, keep our players, and we got to start looking in the free agent market?
Look,
So,
Leo, to me, the decision's already been made because you saw how the other wide receivers on this team, besides Mike Evans, struggled. Gronk is getting up there in age. Chris Godwin deserves a contract extension. I get it. He's coming off of an injury. What is it? A torn ACL. So very serious injury. But, the way technology is these days, I think players are able to recover. Cam Akers was able to recover from a torn ACL. And Chris Godwin was probably your most consistent wide receiver this year, 98 catches. I feel like if they had him on the field today, they would have been much better off because Tyler Johnson struggled. I think there's hope for him, but he's not there yet. Scotty Miller showed some flashes of brilliance, not consistent enough. And then everybody else, a big-time question mark. And then, of course, the loss of AB. So, to me, I think you got to figure out how to keep Godwin in that building.
Yeah, and Peter, the two guys who are probably playing the best, Grayson and Perryman, were inactive.
Yeah,
again,
disappointing. Injuries.
Peter, and I'll leave you with this.
Yep.
What did I tell you in the beginning of the year? The football god of injuries, never smiles on you 2 years in a row.
Right.
That's why it's so hard to repeat, and there's never been a three-peat in the NFL.
And there probably will never be a three-peat, my friend, because of that situation and because, like you always say, Father Time is undefeated. And this year, I think, the injury bug, everything else, with all the adversity, the Bucs did the best they could, but they just weren't good enough against the Rams today. They just weren't.
Yeah, bottom line, that's what happens.
All right, Leo Haggerty, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Sports Web Live on I Love St. Pete in the Hub.
I'm getting ready to put up my Bucs recap of the game today. It'll probably go up in the next hour.
Okay.
Check it out at itsportsmag.com. And the Lightning, thank God, are coming off the West Coast, Peter. Those 1:30 in the morning press conferences are tough for an old man like me.
Hey, man, you're only as old as you feel, my friend, but you're an absolute jewel of a person, and you're definitely a treasure on the sports web. We'd love to have you back 9 o'clock tomorrow night. You and then JP Peterson at 9:30. How's that sound?
That sounds good. And Peter, you read that just like I wrote it. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Your check is in the mail, my friend. It's the grandfather I never had. It's Leo Haggerty, the legend, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, It Sports Mag. Get some rest, my friend. All right. We'll see you later.
I'm heading to the rack now, Peter.
All right, my friend. There you go. Good stuff. A little military reference there. I like that. Good stuff from Leo Haggerty. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I know it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt tomorrow. It's probably going to hurt tonight. Some of you guys are not going to sleep. I'm probably going to be with you, honestly. But you turn the page. It is what it is. The better team won today, and that's what you have to say. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So let's go ahead. Go out to David. Too many drop passes to start the game. Absolutely. Hurricane Kylo 407. My Bucs came back, but it hurts. I agree. I'll fire the cannons for it. Roger Shue says the tribal troll, of course, the moderator, give him some love there. I now want nothing to do with Bowles as head coach of the Bears. We'll see how that situation works out. Troy, how are you feeling about your team losing? Ben, you're going to be the Browns of your division. Chris, Leverett looked better than Wells. Why didn't he start at right tackle? I don't know. I think the Bucs thought they were confident in Wells. He was also coming off an injury there, leg injury, shin, everything like that. He didn't play well. He got dominated. But, I mean, what do you expect against Aaron Donald? I mean, it's a tough matchup. We talked about it, losing Tristan Wirfs. It's tough. And you hear that an hour before the game, and you're just like, but this may be a lot tougher than we originally thought, right? So, good point, Chris. Don't worry. James Smith says, don't worry, Tom Brady will be back next year. We will kick ass next year. We will win a Super Bowl next year. And besides, the Rams are going to lose against the 49ers. I like it. I'll give you the Byron.
How about them Bucs, baby?
I'll go ahead and fire the cannons for that. Uncle Dwayne says, as only the wonderful one Rich would say, take it light, Peter. The best boss that I ever had in the secular arena would always say to me, hang in there, guys. It's going to be okay. You're going to wake up tomorrow. Don't worry. Hopefully we all wake up tomorrow. Call in, Troy. We're waiting for you. Alex says they were who we thought they were. I mean, again, I don't necessarily believe that because, look, again, the Bucs had injuries. We've talked about it. They were missing things. Did they play well in that first half? No. Did they play well in the first 3 quarters? No. Did they start to turn it up a little bit? Yes. Yes, they did. And they gave themselves a win. Tom Brady gave this team a chance to win, Leonard Fournette, and especially this defense. Even though the defense wasn't able to make the critical stop when Matt Stafford got the ball back with 44 seconds. Still caused 4 turnovers, 4 fumbles. Bucs DB secondary bad. Fire quarterback coach. Corey says, quarterback so bad, one-on-one matchup, not Bucs. Good defense. Roger says, funeral service for Bucs season will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. I got you.
Shut up!
All right, let's go out to Curtis. Let's get his walk-up music on. Here we go. Yeah! All right, Curtis from Newport Richie, you're using your second call here on the Evolution. What do you have to say after the Bucs' heartbreaking loss versus the Rams 30-27?
Let me say this. Okay?
Yeah.
I want all my people to listen. All my Bucs people, all my true Bucs people to listen.
Yes.
Okay? Did we expect to win the Super Bowl this year? Of course we did.
I think we did. With not an injury team, but when the injuries happened, when Antonio Brown quit, when Tristan Wirfs was out of this game, there was some doubt, right? There was a little bit of doubt.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
What we have to look at is, and we're gonna get the Greek on here sometime soon. And we can ask him, what is the odds of repeating?
What is it? 03, 04?
It's astronomical.
Yes,
but
it's tough.
What's the odds of us repeating? So, now here's the thing. We wanted to repeat. Absolutely. Every Bucs fan across the world wanted to repeat.
Yeah.
But the odds were against us.
Sure.
Because guess what? Every team gets better every year. I remember, 2 years ago when Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Sure.
And he looked like a normal person this year.
Yep.
He looked like a normal person.
Yep.
And guess what? People figured out what we're doing. That's why it's the NFL. This is why all these teams and guys get paid professional money to go out there and do their homework and to, get better and try to improve every year.
Correct.
Now, the only thing I'm glad I'm not going to get fired for saying this, but what they need to improve is the damn referees.
Well, I mean, you even heard from Leo, the calls, you would expect this referee crew to definitely get some discipline that we don't know about or not be able to work another game as they should not, because there were very questionable calls today by Sean Hockley and his crew.
And the thing that bothered me the most is they're senior referees.
Sure.
They're senior referees. And, I really think they need to go into, and I know it's going to make games longer, but here's the thing. NFL fans don't care how long a damn game is if it's a good damn game.
Right.
If it's a game and somebody's getting blown out 35 to 7 or something like that, we don't care. It shouldn't matter. But if it's a pivotal part of the game and the game is close, or it's a penalty like the Brady penalty, like, are you serious? Those plays should be able to be replayed. I mean, you should be able to go into the booth and look at that play, because guess what? What if Brady would have got knocked out because he got hit in the head and they never called it?
You have a concussion, yeah. I mean, that's a disappointing thing. I mean, again, if it is about protecting the players with helmet-to-helmet shots, I get it. You're going to flag Brady because he's upset, but also have an offsetting call because Miller clearly is going helmet-to-helmet. It's a late hit, and you don't call it. You call it on Brady, and then you see the blood going off his lip there. I mean, it's – I don't know. I don't know.
And listen, I didn't go – I have some family that lives in Georgia, and I've heard stories about Matt Stafford. I'm not calling a guy out on his character, but I heard he's kind of a D-bag.
Well, it looked like he kind of kicked us Sue there on that penalty, didn't it?
Well, here's the thing. Him and Sue were on the Lions team for 6-7 years together?
Correct.
So who knows Sue better than him?
Yeah.
Then, so he's going to potentially say something that's going to get Sue riled up. And, even though Sue has calmed down over the years, he's still Ndamukong Suh.
He is still a Ndamukong Suh, and it's a critical penalty because, and you look at it, it's easy to say, well, the Bucs should be more disciplined. You're absolutely right. But if the player kicked the guy, and I got to go back and watch the replay on it, but it looked like he kicked him, that's the reason why Suh was upset about it. And the refs, once again, missed it. What they tried to call was what they've tried to call all year long with the taunting penalty. The taunting penalty, just excuse my language, it's bullshit. I mean, it really is. It is absolute bullshit, the taunting penalty. They need to do away with it. It's not football. You're taking away the emotion. I get it. You want to get in a guy's face, but there could be other energies at that point used on other things instead of taunting. Taunting is not a big deal. You have to have that spirit of football, and I think we're losing that. You're taking that away because basically you're calling 15-yard penalties at critical times, giving an offense second life. It's bullshit.
And for the Cooper Cup thing, listen, I know this guy went over 200 yards. Everybody knew he was a dynamic receiver. Okay,
yeah.
You gotta keep a guy on this guy. But here's the thing: a 70-yard, he got 70 yards off of a one play.
Yeah.
70 yards.
Yep.
And I take listen. The Rams won. They won the game. Okay. We did it to ourselves in the first half.
Sure.
Besides some of the worst calls I've seen since the Chicago Bears Monday night game. But they're gonna go on and whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, do I feel bad as a Bucs fan? Of course, because I want to see my team continue on.
Sure.
But guys, remember this. I mean, I know we love Brady. We want Brady to come back. The guy's 44 years old. If he comes back, he comes back. We have a young team around us.
Sure.
Very young team. We have our offensive line is good. We have a really young defense, and those guys, Winfield and Carlton and all those guys, they're going to get better.
Sure.
This team, and despite if Bruce Arians leaves or not, listen. Leftwich, I don't want to lose him. But I really don't want to leave. I don't want to lose Bowles.
Right.
I really don't want to lose Bowles. And if BA leaves, I'm one of those people where I'm gonna just be honest. It's a toss up for me because honestly, I would keep Leftwich or Bowles.
Yeah, I agree.
I would really want to keep Bowles for that defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Leftwich has shown he's a pretty good play caller.
Sure.
I mean, I thought there was a time where we were down 20-3, and there was 3 minutes left or whatever in the half when we got the ball back on that first turnover, that fumble, where we should have been running the ball, and we weren't. We were just chucking.
Right.
We were just chucking. And I understand we were down by 17.
Sure.
But in the NFL, sometimes you have to stick to your game plan because.
I think we lost you there, Curtis. You there?
No, I'm here. I was listening to somebody else.
Okay.
But I mean, I really don't know what to say. I mean, we lost the game. Can I get a towel? And we'll be back next year.
There you go. That's the spirit. Let me give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let me fire the cannons for you. And let me give you the woo right there. Woo! Appreciate it as always. We'll be back tomorrow night here at 9 o'clock, my friend. Definitely call in, all right? All right. Don't work too hard. There you go. Curtis from Newport Richie getting his thoughts in. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Jennifer Fall. Wowza, kudos to Brady for what he did. Absolutely. Still playing at a high level. If this was the last game, hats off to Tom Brady for what he's brought to this Tampa Bay organization. I don't know if it's his last game, but if it is, I don't know if he goes out like this, but damn good run, my friend. There's a reason why he's the greatest of all time. So good comment. Let me fire the cannons for that. Oh, Brady got an owie. Justin says, I miss Wirfs. I think the offensive line missed Wirfs, okay? And when that injury happened, there was some question. I was under the impression he may play, but he didn't. So, and then you had to run with what you got. Fat Mike, Chicago Sports at 1252. Great job with what you guys bring to the table. Appreciate the opportunity, of course, to be on the over-under on Friday nights at 9 o'clock with Harry the Greek, who I'm expecting to hear from here eventually. I was pulling for the comeback for Brady, but I still hate Tampa Bay sports. I was pulling for Brady, not the Bucs. All right, well, I'll go ahead and fire the cannons for that. We'll see who the Bears get as their next coach. Let's go out to Paul Zielinski. Go Niners. Absolutely impressive performance last night, even though it was a defensive battle. We thought it was going to be 13-10 Jimmy Garoppolo, and we'll see if that defense can get after it because they have another opportunity to get after the Rams. And let's hope they do. Because at the end of the day, I get it. The Rams are playing well right now, but so are the 49ers. And covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and being a fan of this team, I want to see the Bucs be the only team ever to win a Super Bowl in their own house. How about that? Just selfish reasons on my part. Paul says to beat the Rams 3 times this year would be a tough task. Exactly. Jose says defense did blow it. Absolutely. Corey says Bucs and Rams both have no salary cap space, room money. Again, you always hear that. We'll see how that plays out. I'm not ready to say doom and gloom because the cap goes up every year with the TV money. It does. So let's not assume. Boom Nugu. All right. Roger says Giselle makes Brady's decision. Corey says KC versus San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl 56. Roger again. Super chats are open. Support your host. Absolutely. Fire the cannons for that. As we're almost at the 2-hour mark here on the evolution. Defense wasn't good. They weren't. They were better in the second half, but the first half, no. And in that last drive there, not good. Not good at all. Bucs are America's team. I'll fire the cannons for that. And I'll give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Chris Cole, we had 4 possessions in the last 10 minutes of the game, and we scored twice. True, because you get shut down on 4th downs. And we talked about it. 4th and 14, you're going to Mike Evans. Questionable call. Leo Haggerty told you they got it right. Tough set of circumstances. And then at that point, you're not able to convert on the other 4th down. And it certainly looks like Scotty Miller's open, but Brady's not able to see it because of the pressure getting to him. Roger Shue, great calls tonight. Keep them coming. Absolutely. Ramirez, Baker, Von Phi. Always love that. Roger says Brady got first unsportsmanlike penalty of his career today. You think you've seen it all in football, and then you learn something new, right? Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. The Bucs are still 2022 3-time Super Bowl champs in our hearts, and that's what matters. Now you're just being a dick. Khalil Muscat, Vum Nugu. I don't know who that is. Quit blaming the refs. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. The Bucs won this game in our hearts, and that's what matters. Troy Polamalu, leave me alone, Roger, you troll. You guys are something else. You and Roger are something else. Blow this up and go back to the creamsicle days. Blow this up. Cole says, wow, Peter, I want to puke 3 plays in 42 seconds. You live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. Absolutely. Absolutely, Cole. And I know you're heartbroken about it. We remember last year. Last year is kind of a memory now after this game. It's tough. But Cooper Kupp once again kills you. And that was the big time, one of the big time keys in the game. Who would stop Cooper Kupp? The answer, no one. Guy is just an absolute buck killer. Voon Rent. No, I don't want to pay your rent. Sorry. Hell of a comeback. Sorry they fell a bit short. Absolutely, Jeff. Congratulations to your Cincinnati Bengals. And I know there's a contingent here going out to Ducky's Sports Lounge. Really privileged to meet those people out there. The Tampa Bay Cincinnati Bengals. Congratulations to you guys out there. I know you're elated. Joe Burrow, exciting things, and being in the AFC Championship game. I don't know the score of the game. I'm about to get off and watch the rest of this game, if you don't mind. So we'll read more comments, and then we'll get out of here for the night after the Bucs fall in heartbreaking fashion to the Rams 30-27. Risky play call, but horrible coverage by Winfield. Brian says Tom Brady is no more. It's over. I told you weren't getting on the Super Bowl this year. Tom Brady, the GOAT, did cry. Tails out now. Brian, you can enjoy sitting at home and only having 1 Super Bowl in Drew Brees' career. Okay? All those division championships, only 1 Super Bowl. Have a nice life. Roger says Brady retires. Aaron Rodgers comes here. We shall see. Stop crying about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's over. Who cares what time they played? They still lost, and yet you care because you tuned in. So I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in, Mr. Brian Pearson.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Roger Shue says, great take, Brian. Brian again here. The NFC South are going to get better players for every team on it. If Tom Brady comes back to Tampa Bay, he's going to have a lot of competition in the NFC South next year. So what? This organization isn't scared of competition. Tom Brady is one of the most killer instinct players of all time. He thrives under pressure. He thrives under guys getting better because he knows he has to raise his game, and this organization will raise their game. I believe that Tom Brady comes back. We'll see. A lot of people thought they were going to lose their players last year. They didn't. So let's not rule out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's not bury them yet. Okay, Brian? All right, good stuff. Brian's cousin here, Exum Gazi, Boom Org. Got to keep your family members out of here there, Brian. Joe Montana's the real GOAT. Never lost a Super Bowl. Never cheated to win games. Didn't get suspended for acting like a psycho. Didn't yell at a referee for a flag. Aren't you special? Brian says, I don't know what this is. What is Brian saying? You guys are all crybabies when your football team loses. When other people have something to say about your team and quarterback, you ride on my team, the New Orleans Saints. We take it. What have I not taken? I've been here for a total of nearly 2 hours waiting for your ass to call me and talk about how great your Saints are, and yet this is what I hear. This is what I hear from you. At no point during this show have I ever said the Bucs didn't play well. They didn't play well in that first half. They didn't play. They didn't deserve to win this game, but they had a chance to win the game, Brian. And obviously, I'm entertaining enough that you like this show, that you like to comment, and you get the opportunity to comment. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to ban you. I'll try not to block or ban anybody from this show. But to come on this show constantly and say, you guys are crybabies, you're not taking it. I am taking it. And the Bucs fans are taking it. And you know what? We're taking it in stride. Because we know and we have confidence that this team eventually will be back. We do. So enough of the you aren't taking it, you guys are crybabies, all that other garbage. That's horse spit.
Shut up!
Cole says Bowles should be the next head coach. We shall see, because he may be a head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. He interviewed with the Chicago Bears. He's up for a coaching job. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend. Joe Montana is the Michael Jordan of football. Tom Brady is the LaFlop James of football. I'm not ready to say that. In fact, that's a bad take. It's a bad take, man. Come on. What did Brady do? Nothing. Who won one Super Bowl with guys? Big deal. Yeah, in a COVID season, during a pandemic, the first year with the Bucs, who didn't even make the playoffs the year before. Come on, Brian. And they beat your Saints. You forget. Selective amnesia. It's tough when you're old. I guess that's what happens. Packers suck. We'll see what the future of that team is. Because we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back or not. It should be an interesting offseason, shouldn't it? But the playoffs are still going on. Ryan again. They won a Super Bowl in the house, but they lost in their own house this year in a playoff game. Okay. It happens, Brian. Your team continued to lose at home after winning division championships. What the hell are you talking about, my friend? You ain't talking to the neighbor down the street. This is the host of The Evolution. This is the evolution of Sports Talk Television. This is the Sports Web live on I Love St. Pete and the Hub. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's not go through the skeletons in the closet there, Brian. You got more skeletons than the Bucs do, okay? One Super Bowl, bud. And all those years of division titles. Enjoy those flags, my friend. You deserve it. In fact, take those flags, put them up on top of you, and try to keep warm at night. And hopefully that keeps your sanity in check. You need to have a reality check. Saints got beat last year by the Bucs, who ended up winning the Super Bowl. And you can't say anything about it. So enjoy it, okay? All right, let's go out to Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend. Tell Roger to stop bullying me. Brian's family member, Bridges Freeman, Vayrunet. Let's go out to Harry here. It just makes me sick. Can't even put it into words. I agree. I think it's sickening to the fact that the defense gives it up after the offense gets it back. I get it. But it always goes back to three phases, my friend, right? Here, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. Offense, defense, and special teams, especially defense. And the defense let the Bucs down today. Disappointing. David says, do you think Barrett lived up to his contract? Do you think they restructure his contract to free up some money next year? I think the Rams did a good job, especially in that first half. I think JPP was injured this year. Maybe father time has gotten him. They're going to have to look at that situation. Shaq Barrett at times this year has been good, but when the other side is not able to get that penetration, again, you just take your hat and tip it to the Rams and their offensive game plan, especially that line, because they had their fair share of injuries too. Tell Brian to go play with his sister cornhole. Yeah, it's all right. I blocked him. Laugh out loud. You don't have to block him. Again, nobody gets blocked on this broadcast unless they disrespect me. We're not blocking people. Brian is a Saints fan. He's a troll. Trolls are allowed to live here. We'll allow him to live here, and then he can go back under the bridge. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. We got a fire Leftwich. Can't win with them. Well, yeah, you just won a Super Bowl with them a couple of years ago. Don't forget that. Oops. Got to go along with JPP. Harry says, come on, everyone. Get a turn, bro. I mean, again, Rams are the better team today. They showed it. They did a lot better things than the Bucs did. And of course, Matt Stafford, once again, just to recap, let's go out to John here. Looks great. Keep rocking. I'm just bummed Tennessee lost to Cincinnati. I think there's a lot of people. John, thanks a lot for tuning in and commenting as always. A lot of people bummed about Tennessee losing, expecting Derrick Henry to come back, but give credit to where credit is due. Cincinnati and that defense shut him down, especially that defensive line, getting to Derrick Henry, and then Ryan Tannehill making some rookie decisions, trying to throw in those little windows that weren't there, and that's why the ball is getting tipped up and picked off. So, again, final stats here. Tom Brady, 30 for 54, 329, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Leonard Fournette, 13 for 51, 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans today, tremendous. Who could forget the 55-yard touchdown? Perfect pass by Tom Brady, one-on-one coverage against Jalen Ramsey. He beats him to the house. Once again, 8 catches for 119. Gronk, 4 catches, 85 yards. Leonard Fournette, 9 for 56. Scotty Miller, 4 for 38, including a big 16-yard conversion on 4th down to give the Bucs new life. Winfield led in tackles there, 9 tackles total overall. Half a sack by Soon also caused a fumble. Vita Vea with the sack. Besides that, disappointing to give up that final drive, as we've talked about ad nauseum on this show. Matt Stafford, 28 for 38, 366, 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers, 24 for 48, 2 fumbles, can't put the ball on the ground. Van Jefferson, 1 for 15. Cooper Kupp, the big killer for the Bucs. He's been a major killer, and he moves on and definitely should be in the MVP conversation. 9 catches for 183, 1 touchdown, including the big play at the end of the game there, 44 yards. Odell Beckham, 6 for 69. Tyler Higbee, 4 for 51. Van Jefferson, 2 for 29. Cam Akers, 3 for 20. Overall, sacked by Aaron Donald, sacked by Von Miller, sacked by Leonard Floyd. An interception by Nick Scott, who has surprisingly had a great game, has really stepped up in that secondary, especially with all the losses the Rams have had. Getting Eric Weddle off the couch and still being able to stop that Bucs offense. Overall, 3rd down conversions. This is the big time story for me. 3 for 14 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2 for 4 on 4th down. Sacks given up 3. We talked about the quarterback hurries and quarterback hits. It did not work today. It didn't work in the first matchup for the Rams. 4 for 11. Gave up 2 sacks themselves, but overall 428 total yards compared to the Bucs 359, 355 passing yards, 73 rushing right there. So that's the final statistics. Troy Polamalu, Roger is a bandwagon Sports Web fan. I've been supporting the Sports Web for the beginning. And I don't know how you spelled the beginning there. Begging, I think you're saying. So I guess I'll fire the cannons for that. Roger Shue, by the way, is not a bandwagon sports web fan because Roger Shue's been following my career for years when I used to do radio 11 to midnight. If you could do, not 11 to midnight, excuse me, 11 to 1 a.m. in the morning for 10 a.m. If you can do radio at that time, you can do this. Kansas City up 23-17, 2:06 left in the third quarter. So with that being said, thank you very much, Daniel Derricks, for that update. I'm going to get out of here. Gave you a 2-hour show. We'll be back tomorrow night. Bucs fans, hang in there. I get it. I know it hurts, but I'm here with you. We'll get through it together. Once again, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the LA Rams 30-27 after being down 27-3. Bucs come back, but it's just not enough. Once again, Matt Stafford and the LA Rams move on to face the San Francisco 49ers at SoFi, and we'll see who faces the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow night. We'll have Leo Haggerty, the legend, from a Coach Scout and Now media member at 9 o'clock, and JP Peterson of FanStream Sports and the JP Peterson Show. So how do we end this season off as the Bucs season is over? 3 things. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Have a great night.
Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Come to Sam Ash for hundreds of exclusive holiday deals on music and sound gear from the most iconic brands. Save big on professional and starter guitars, drums, digital pianos, horns, violins, DJ, and electronic production equipment. Supercharge your home studio with deals on podcasting, streaming, and AV equipment like speakers, microphones, headphones, and acoustic treatment. Plus, with 36 months no-interest financing on thousands of items, you can get the gear of your dreams right now. From our incredible selection and service to our lowest price guarantee for over 95 years, real musicians know you only go to Sam Ash.
BetUS.com. If you guys are betting on the games, whether it's NFL, NCAA, of course, you're not going to do that now. Maybe basketball, not football, but of course, the NHL, NBA, go to BetUS.com. You get a 125% sign-up bonus. And also, if you use this code right here, the promo code of TSW22, which, by the way, stands for the sports web, TSW22, or call that number 1-800-69-BET-US. Again, 1-800-69-BET-US, and put in that promo code TSW22, and I would really appreciate that.
I've had 27 beers spilled on me. Make that 28.
I've only got one place to go before another game.
BetUS.com.
Sign up at BetUS.com and get the best bonuses in the industry. Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Tampa. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
When you make it out this far, one thing is for certain. There ain't nothing like that boat ride. And we're in the deep water now.
What about the rematch now with all the chips on the line for Tampa?
One of the things they had on their side last year was luck.
And if the walls start to close in, that's when it becomes compelling.
They really need to also play well on defense.
Everybody remember this unit. This defense is the reason the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl.
You can say what you want about us. We know who we are.
Grave digger! Grave digger!
Out here, the tide can change just like that.
With 4 Buccaneers all over them.
One slip up, and you just might sink.
Hey, let's go, man. We need to play right here. It hurts. It's sacked. Every time you see me, you got to throw it. The blitz, and it's White. He better not throw it. End zone. Picked off. Look at him. Real great niggas. Oh, my goodness. Raheem Nunez-Rocha. Hey, that's right. Woo! Let's go, man. That's how you get aggressive with them over there, man. It's football, man. I'm going to roll the ball on their ass. And it's intercepted. Jason Pierre-Paul. I'm talking about our field right. Pressure from Barry. Ball is loose. This defense comes up with a sack. Let's go!
When you see that boat coming, it's already too late.
What a boat! What a boat! Throw! Go ready! Go ready!
Because we're bringing the whole crew. And today, we roll.
Hey, boy, ain't nothing like that boat ride.
Raise the flags.